freedom it allows. The only thing between public domain is that you don't know who the author is. But in CC BY, you know who the author is. After that, you can make commercial use. You can, those 5 R's, remix, revise, redistribute it, revise it, those kind of things you can do with these kind of materials. They are there. Let me give you an example. Suppose Pramod ji wrote a poem. Then Jyoti thought that this poem is very good. Can I make, and Pramod released that with CC BY license, that poem. I have some friends who are poet and they release their poem with open, there's a Creative Commons licenses. One is Mr. Anil Prasad, he is with Government of Kerala. Maybe if someone knows you, he is on Wiki Educator also, you can find him, Mr. Anil Prasad. There, he writes beautiful poems in Malayalam and English, and he releases his work as a Creative Commons license. So suppose Pramod ji wrote a poem and released it with some open license. Then Jyoti thought that this is a good poem. Can I make a drama on it? Yes, that can be done if it is an OER. Now, when Jyoti created it, Dr. Aarti, who is in Central University of Haryana, she thought that this is a wonderful drama. Can I make a movie on that? Yes, that can be done. And then Dr. Indrajit thought that, yeah, Pramod wrote this poem in Hindi. Can I translate it into Punjabi? You can do that because the use is allowed for you. And depending on what kind of there, then you need to think that whether it is a derivative revision allowed or commercial use allowed. Restricted towards this is the spectrum here. These are some of the examples. Like this is the blog, and the person, maybe you can see my mouse pointer now. He has put this Creative Commons license on his blog. So it means this entry now can be used by you, but you cannot make a commercial use or you cannot change it. But if you want to use this material, you can use it in your talk, in your presentation, in your chapter, in your course, anywhere that is allowed. You don't need to write to the author. The permission is already granted. In other case, you need to seek permission. Here, permission is already granted. This is by Paul G. Allen School in America, Wisconsin there. And they have offered their course like MIT Coursewares. It is a computational neuroscience course which can be downloaded and used by anyone who thinks that this course is good for them, and then it can be used for the academic purposes. This is one example. Now, what can be done? How you can? There are many examples. We will see the the real websites now, but what can be done from our end? Now, some of you, if for example, if someone of you in this session right now is from Sanskrit, they may ask me, sir, Sanskrit pe koi material hai? I will say, sorry, at present there are very few material, but definitely you have found a gap. And when you find a gap that there is no material, because you know, Newton has been considered one of the greatest scientists of our times. And what he discovered, what the things he invented, it's not something like that the others could not do it. The others were also able to do it. But once Newton said that, I was fortunate. Why? Because I was standing on the shoulders of giants. Means he had the fortune to have the access to the knowledge which was created by others. And he didn't need to start from zero. And that's why he could do many things. So it means if we are taking some benefit now with the help of the knowledge created by someone else, maybe like if you saw the change in philosophy, the philosophy of sharing. If I know something, if I'm comfortable in sharing my knowledge with others, we can do it. Knowledge is the only thing, if I share with you, my knowledge will not decrease. It will never decrease. I will always be having more knowledge, even if I share my things and like that. And very recently, I read a very good saying by someone that you cannot give what you don't have. जो चीज आपके पास है ही नहीं वो आप कहाँ से दोगे? But so there, so we can create when we find a gap. Something is needed by us. It is something like our grandfathers, they planted the tree, but now we are taking the benefit of those mangoes or lychee or all those fruits. It takes time, so for others to make use of that. If you find that something is good there, but it is old, can be updated that way. We can share, we can tell the people about others like that. These are certain ways, but how to do that? This is an example on how to do that. This is the raw material. Say for example, now if you want to write an article, a chapter or a course, you want to create it, you search for materials which has been created by others. And then that it becomes your raw material. Using that raw material, what do you make? The first product, you create it, and if you release it, say by CC BY, what others can do on the basis of that then? They can reuse, so they will take something out from that and make two products out of that. You can reorganize, you can add or subtract something in the original product. You can remix the pieces and can make a different shape out of that. This is how the open educational resources, they work. So you have already, I will show you, there are n number of products, the content available. We just need to know from where we can search them. But then the question comes that you found something, you wanted to create a course on microbiology, you searched something and you found good material. How do you know that this material is of quality? This is by the British Columbia campus, the university. They have suggested an evaluation criteria which can be followed. These are the 10 parameters. It is not essential that all these 10 will be accessible or present in that content, but it gives a broad framework for you to see that whether that content, what is the coverage of that content, what is the accuracy level of that content, what is the relevance of that content in that context in which it will be used, how clear that content is, it's in terms of its language, in terms of its consistency, whether it is modular, how it is organized, interface, language, and culturally sensitivity or not. These things we can check from there. Now, when you use these materials, this is a formula on how to cite them. You know, there are various citation methods like Vancouver style and Harvard style. Then you have MLA, you have APA, you have Chicago style. There are so many styles of referencing. Similarly here, to acknowledge the work created by others, how to do that? You need to just remember these 4 things. What is the title of that work? There may be some title. Whenever we create, we give some title. Even if it is painting, there may be some name of that painting. Who is the author of that work? Who has created that? Who owns that thing? Then the source means if it is online, the URL, if it is offline, the name of the book or something, and the kind of license. Out of those 6 licenses, which one that one holds? For example, how do we use it? Say this is a book, Dog Training Bible, and this book is written by someone. So the Andrea created this photograph with the dog in the background and making, because it's a book on dog training, so having the dog in the background and taking that photo to promote that book. Now, so this is the good image, and I want to use this image for my own work. But since it is CC BY, it allows me to modify this work. So how do I modify that work? I will add another image on the top of that. So now, and this way it goes into change that the Golden Reading Open is a derivative. So the new name is Golden Reading Open, is a derivative of Golden Reading Baron's Dog Training Bible, which was the work of Andrea, which was released under CC BY2 license. Now the name is Golden Reading Open, which is by Christine and has been released by version 4, because at present we are the version 4 currently they have updated it. So the version 4 is available with us now. So if you change it, you can decide that which version you want to log it in. This is a website. It is the OER world map. If you want to see around the world what is happening in there, and this is an interactive map. We will see its study. I'm the India country champion for this. If you take your pointer on the India, then it will show you various details about it. The world of open educational resource has become so popular is that many of the world governments, they support it, including Government of India. And then so much so that last year, a specialist focused international journal of open educational resources was launched to publish the studies related to this field. So if any one of you is motivated enough now, you can send your article for publication ijoer.org into this one. Now, what else you can find it? The basic organization behind all this promoting these things is OER Foundation, which is in New Zealand. It is a non-profit organization, independent organization, whose purpose is to promote open education through open practices, open courses. They try to promote development of e-content through online learning or online workshops like that. I have conducted many workshops using through this foundation using that. The first person, Dr. Wayne McIntosh in the top, is the director of OER Foundation, and then there are other members into it. And this is Wiki Educator, on which you can also join. It's a free platform. It's like a Wikimedia Foundation one page on that. So there you find various resources which can be good. And many, like National Institute of Open Schooling, NIOS. I think Acharya Narendra Dev College, Professor Savitri Singh was the principal there. They have created some of their courses on Wiki Educator. University of Mumbai, their Department of Economics, they have created their courses using Wiki Educator. The advantage is here that you create your course using this platform. Anybody in the world can take benefit of that, and they can contribute to that also, because it is a wiki platform. Anyone can edit, modify them, use them in that. So these are the various features on it. And okay, this is my website or my WhatsApp number. You can use them if you want to communicate. And now let me show you some of the websites which we can use. I need to share my screen. Just wait, I will change. Okay. Okay, here we are. Now, the places from where we can find the information which is easy for us to look for there. First of all, let us see image, the photos, because they constitute a major part of our presentations. And it is very tempting to, suppose if you want to go preparing a presentation on photosynthesis, and then you will just make a Google search and search for images, and you go and you find that, oh, there are so many good images, and I like this image, and maybe I will use this one. But definitely there are chances that images may be subject to copyright. Means anything which is available on internet does not allow us to download it and use it. In that case, we need to be aware of that which are the safe websites from where which officially, legally, technically allow us to use those images. So some of them are Pixabay. You can see it has around 2 million high quality stock images. And how to search it? Say for example, if you are searching for leaf, so you put your search into it, it will show you various you know. And if you think that you want to give a lesson on photosynthesis, this images you find is okay, so you click on that image and this image will come. Here you see this is allowed you for free download. This is the copyright holder of this image, the author's name is there, and then here is the license. This is free for commercial use and no attribution required. Although it is a good idea, ethically it is a good idea to give means credit to the person who hold it, but this website says that even if you don't want to, it's okay with us. And then commercial use means the images which are available here, if you want to use them, make a big banner, go to Lal Killa and want to sell it in 10 rupees, 20 rupees, they don't have any problem with that. Commercial use, they are allowing you to use. And it is very simple how to download them. You can simply click on free download, and then it will open a a box. It will show you what size you want to download. Now this reminds me, there are two things related with image when you deal with image. If you are working for online purpose, then better download the small size file, the low resolution, because if it is heavy resolution, the size of your PPT will increase, or you won't be able to send it by email, or if you want to upload it there, it will take a lot of time. For online purpose, go for low resolution image. But if it is offline purpose, say you want to make a banner for your conference, for your something else, it is better to take the high resolution photograph, because when the printer will zoom it out, the quality will remain good in that case there. Then the type of images, broadly we classify them into two groups, raster images and vector images. Say for example, if you have noted that there are certain BMP, bitmap images, or GIF, when you zoom them out, when you enlarge them, they get pixelated. Actually, these are all pixels. If you say that your camera is 22 megapixel or something, it means 1 pixel. And how many mega means millions of pixels in 1 per square inch your monitor, your image can handle, that will define. And that's why nowadays, if you see the television screens, they can support millions of colors. And the color, the UD, HD, those kind of high definition, ultra high definition, it means that the pixels, they are condensed, and that gives a realistic, like our eyes in the real world, when we see something, that gives the same kind of impression from there. So the best format to use the image for online purpose is TIFF, PNG, or JPG. Always go with these three formats. Try to avoid BMP, because if it is zoomed out, then the quality may decrease from there. So that way you can use it. So this is one site called as Pixabay. The another is called as Unsplash. You can use it, and you can see that it offers you a variety of topics on which current events, COVID, if you want just from here, or travel, or nature, or wallpapers, or textures, people, business, etc. Otherwise, you can simply use it and make a Google, make a search on any key term which you want to use it, and then you can search that, okay, which is good for you. And if you think that which image you want to use it, so for example, you like this one, so you click on this image, and then here you can say that the image is there, It is by Amanda, and download, free download. You can click on that, or you can simply see that here are the options. Original size is this one, but otherwise there are different options. And if you click on download, free download, then the window will open, and so you download it, and then it says that this is the way you can, cite this. Just copy this and paste it in your work, and that will do like that. So simple, means it's legally completely allowed. They are allowing you to use it. They're just expecting that we can say thanks to the owner, to the author, to the holder of this work, like that way. And in that, and then you can find it in various orientations, the images. You want something in landscape mode or portrait mode or straight mode. You want something with a particular color in dominance. So something, if you think that you want something in magenta, in which this color appears in a dominant way, then it will bring those kind of images from there. The another website is called as the Fodder.com. You can see 335 million free stock, premium royalty free stock images. And here again, you can search for the photographs. Say, for example, you want to search for leaf. I'm just giving any example, you can say. So these are the, the search, and you can say make from there any kind of license type. It is showing you everything here. Or if you want to search only for which you want to make a commercial use or non-commercial use, accordingly you can say. And then say, for example, you want to use this image. So see, this site has certain good things about it, that it shows you options for various sizes, but along with that, it allows you to embed also. Now, embedding you will be understanding tomorrow more when you go for your learning management system, in which you will be taught that how you can embed certain object into your learning management system. Embedding means to share your content with someone else. It can be shared with two ways. Either you physically move the content to that. That is, you download first something and then upload something in your course area, whether you are using Google Classroom or something. That is the physical transfer of the content. The another one is embedding. Embedding means you don't touch the original one. You let it remain on its parent site. You just use a mirror image, an index, a link of that, and use it in your work. In that way, you occupy zero space. No bit byte of that will be used, consumed in your course if you embed it. Embedding means it is something sort of a window. You are opening a window from where things are visible. So that works. So this site gives you, then it shows you the kind of license and how you can attribute this. Just simply copy paste it, and then you can use this site from there. It works. So this is Fodder.com. Another site is Flickr.com. Flickr is owned by Yahoo now. Those Yahoo.com, Yahoo.co.in you use. This is the Flickr, and it also offers billions of photographs. It has a huge database of images on it, and it's all completely free. And you can search either the photographs or the people or the groups by using their platform. If, say, for example, if you want to use something on computers, you just type your search into computers, and it will show you all the images pertaining. You go and search for your presentation what you want to use. Now, here it shows you what kind of license you want to search. So you click on any license, and you can see that all Creative Commons or commercially used or modifications allowed. When you want to use certain image in which you want to make certain changes, you think that, okay, there are certain images which I want, so you can select modifications allowed. And after that, these are the images. If you click on any image, say for example, you want to use this laptop photograph, but within the screen, you want to put your logo, so that you say that it is your something. So you can click it and download it. And then from the here, you can see that this is some rights means reserved means the owner has a, but this is a Creative Commons license, and you can modify that, and even there is, it is not hindering you from there from modifying it. So this way, these are all various examples how you can use it. Say here, this person used that picture and says, thanks for sharing it with CC. I use it for my blog post this morning. So that way the people, they use it. And see that kind of, they have the same laptop, but they edited it by making it the change in the photograph. This is another use. You see the original image here, and how the people, they used that original image and made changes into that. You cannot do that with copyright protected things the way here you can do that. So that shows you the power of these platforms there. Now with that, let me show you now the search engine, which will cover every kind of subjects, these things, and that is the Google search engine, the google.com. You can use it, they either as they directly making the search here. For example, if you want to use something for anything, just like Photopea, I'm just selecting anything, and then here it will show you all these things. Then to search for that, what you can do, you use settings and go to advanced search, or you can directly use Google advanced search. Ultimately, you will be reaching this page, Google advanced search. Here you make your things. Now those of you who are from mathematics or computer science field, you may be knowing there is a term we call as the Boolean search. So Boolean are the operators which are and or not. And means two things, they have to be there, like Delhi and Corona. So it means both are present there. If you say Delhi or Corona, so it is either of the two, either Delhi or Corona. And if you say Delhi, not Corona, it means Delhi, but no Corona, it won't show you. So these are the kind of Boolean search engine. Then in what language you want to search, there are so many languages it offers you because it is Google platform. And ultimately then you come to the last one, the usage right. You select these things from here, and then what you want to do, if you want to use a commercial use, if you want to modify that, you select this and click on advanced search. This way, whatever the result now will come, you can make freely use of that. So if you want to search anything, this is the right way to use that. Search for Creative Commons things. Okay, so this is related to image. Now let us go for, then in image there are certain other things also. For example, you may like to use the human body for your presentation or for your course. So this is a free website, Humans, in which it allows you to create human body to be used, and which can be gender neutral or any specific kind of gender which you can't. And you can create it. You can create these kind of things for you. This is a free website. You can use it, and you can create your own remix. Like you can change the hairstyle. You can change the clothing. You can the body shape. Everything is possible. You can see from here. Start with template. You can see the face is here, and then whatever you will select, it will accordingly keep on changing. So it needs you that in the similar way, you can say if you want this kind of hairstyle, so this will go, and then you continue, and accordingly it will say. So one. Then there is another one, flat icon. For your work, suppose you want to use certain icons, and you want to search that from where. equal size, beautiful icons, you can get them from there. This is the website. You can means there are millions of there, and you can search them. Say WhatsApp based, Instagram based, heart based phone. It is asking you, and it is large database in so many things. You can see there all these things, they are available to you for various kind, means any purpose you will be able to, and then you can generate also using this their pattern generator an icon for your own. Suppose you have created some company, or you have created something for which you want a logo or icon, you can design that using that from there. So this is for those kind of fields. Now let's see for videos. For videos, you all know YouTube. Something is there, we call it as TeacherTube. So this is the website called as TeacherTube. It has the video resources for practically all the subjects. You can see them there, and you can click on any subject at random. Say for example, it is for history, and these are the videos which are created by the teachers, and you can make a more search on that. This is the website as it says about it in its description. This is the website by the teacher for the teachers. So this way you can see web-based assessment, HTML, this is for computer science, this is how to, and these are the audios which have been created, and these are the collections on algebra, history, health, figurative language, Spanish, student engagement, etc., etc., like that. So you can make use of them. So this is TeacherTube. Then you can have another resource which is called as MIT Blossoms videos. I like them very much. Particularly, these are basically for science and mathematics. And if you go to the bottom here, you can say that it is blended learning, open source science and mathematics studies. And in various languages, these are available to you, including English, Chinese, Japanese, Portuguese, Spanish, Malay, Hindi, Urdu, like that. You can find the resources which have been submitted, created by the people, the teachers available there. And if you just click on at random, say like this on biology here, there are certain good things on this website which I like very much. This is the instructor who has created. This is the video. You can play it, and then what happens here, the good thing about what I like is it allows you to download the video. It allows you to download the video here. From here you can download. This one is in Spanish MP4, which is open format, and then it allows you to download the transcript also. The transcript is very good for those situations in which, say, language is an issue, or sometimes if the language creates difficulty, it is easy to read the transcript and to share it with the student. So it gives the transcript along with it to your students. So that way you can use this. But now, for the videos, the most easy and universal platform is YouTube. But by default, YouTube has two kind of licenses. If you just use YouTube at simple for anything, say like if I type photosynthesis and it will show me various results, it is not necessary that I can use, and by default, YouTube does not allow us to, we cannot download them, these videos, and use and upload for our purpose. We need to see. Just say, for example, if we see this video, let us see what it says. Yes, so no license. So it doesn't have any license. So any video on YouTube, if it does not have any license, or if it says standard YouTube license, it means then, let us say another, this one is the on virus. What this license is, go to the description, And here, okay, see here again, no license. It means that this is the property of VMD there. And it means that this video is not open source video. So we need to be careful now how to search for open source videos in that. It's easy. You just make your search, and when you make search for your word, your key term, then it will show you this filter button there. You click on this filter button, and here now you can search, narrow down, specify what you want to search in terms of time, in terms of type, in terms of duration, and here it is Creative Commons. You click on this Creative Commons. Now on this word, all these results which have appeared, they all are Creative Commons. We can just say at random, let us see this one, what license it will show to us. And you can say in the Pearson marketing, they will use it. And Khan Academy videos. You can see it is reuse allowed. So that way you need to see in the discussion. It means these videos which are Creative Commons allowed, reuse allowed, you can very well integrate them in your course. They allow you as it's reuse with them. Okay, so this is how you can find for certain videos for your courses. Then from where, suppose you created and particularly for e-learning, as in the morning session you were being introduced that you will be creating your own online course. In that case, if you create a presentation, you want to have some music in the background to be included in that. For background music, and music by default, if you just say, it may be a copyright protected music also. You need to search what is the usable there. So there are some websites from where we can find. One is the SoundCloud platform. You can see that here it is a music sharing website. So people can upload, promote, and share audio. You can go to this website. If you want to sign up, you can sign up for free, or you can also upload, and you can say what is trending for free in the SoundCloud community. And from here in the search engine, you can type search, and whatever thing that it is useful to you, you can make a search on that and use it for your purpose. So that way it allows you to use that. Another one is Jamendo Music. So this is the site, Jamendo Music. You can explore it. Okay, here the site is opening. Oh, yeah. Then you can see that from which site you want to use it, and then it will show you how you can make use of that for your purpose there. So this is the site. Then there are certain other interactive sites in which you can create your interactivity with there. One of them is say like UEN website. This is very good for particularly science subjects. And if you have some younger students as your students or at home, do show them this website. I like it very much. And say, for example, just open biology. This is all open educational resource science books. And say this is having ecosystem, food chain, energy transfer, predatory prey, which is predator, which is prey, like that. say, let us say food chain. So it is showing you, this is an interactive website that the plant is eaten by rabbit and the rabbit is eaten by the fox. And this is how the energy pyramid works. Let us see if it, actually this website, okay, it needs a certain flash to run, and maybe you can see a different page, then it can use there. So this way you can check various, can see it has for pre-12, higher education, career education, professional development, distance education. There are so many things available for various subjects which are there. Say for example, interactive timetable, the periodic table. Oh, sorry, this page is not working at present. So that way this website is there. Then there are certain tools with the help of which you can make interactivity in your lessons. I hope this will load soon. So you can see that this is the here we left. Okay. This is a self-running e-learning course about curriculum approaches, and on which whatever you will click it, it will go there, it will start working, and that way you can create the interactivities which is self-running in its mode, and then you can select it, and you can build exercises into it, and then it will give you the feedback about it and how you select that there, that's right. And this way it gives you the feedback and like that. So you can make a self-running course using these tools for you and something like that. So we have seen image, we have seen video, we see about the audio. Now let's see some of the resources from where we can find text for our purpose. And there are various some resources which are available. This someone, if someone from you here or know about Kalindi College, they also have this repository of online study materials on various courses which have been created. You can go to their main page, and here you can see various classes on which the subject material, course material is available. And so they have allowed free download, means as open access, the material is there. And then, this has been created on this topic by this author. And if you click on view, you can very well say use these resources from there. Then you maybe along with that, then there are open textbook of Hong Kong. You see primary books, secondary books, textbooks, tertiary education, etc. They have these books which are all under Creative Commons. Any subject you can see, say for example, let's click on tertiary education. So these are the, say all these subjects, they are there. You click on any one. I'm just clicking on social science. You see cognitive perspective, basic political concepts, cognitive influence, introduction to psychology. This book, free open textbook for tertiary level. Feel free to use, adapt, and modify the content to your own needs. It means if someone of you is teaching psychology, you don't need to write some lesson on your own. You can very well download this book, this one book. And if you think that out of 10 chapters, and it has allowed you, either you can download the PDF from here, or you can read this book online as well. By clicking on it online, you will see the whole book structure. It will show you the chapters. And if you think that chapter 4 is good for you, rest are not used. So you can take that, and if you think that you need to change it culturally, because this book was written for, say, Canada, but you want to use it for Indian conditions, you want to change something, the license allows you to do that. So this is the Open Textbook Hong Kong project from there. Similarly, we have another one, OpenStax. So this is the OpenStax platform. You can see from here, you can search various subjects. All subjects are mathematics or what? Peer-reviewed, openly licensed, 100% free. These are the resources which allow you, and you can see mathematics, science, social science, humanities, business, like there. The history resource is there, and this is the book, and you can download it, and here is the license CC BY there, just simple. So it allows you, you can make it even commercial, means you can download this soft copy, print it, and then you can distribute it to your students easily. That is allowed as per the license used by them. And then there are various subjects which you can use. The example in the morning I was telling you is about Athabasca University Press. So there you will find some good things from there. So here, and you can search for publications or what you are searching, and say for example for subject, and see various subjects which are available with them, and anthropology, archaeology, computing, cultural studies, health, nutrition, law, labor, political science, philosophy. Nowadays everyone is dealing with online education, so I suggest that you must download this book, which is a award-winning book. These are certain books, say like online assessment, and instructional design, digital learning, mobile learning, virtual world, online distance education. This is that book which I wanted to show you, Theory and Practice of Online Learning. This book has been translated into more than 60 languages in the world. And it is free download. You can download it, you can use it. Here is the chapter of contents, and you can see this work is under CC BY NC ND. Means you cannot, means there, but if you can download it, the PDF, and if you want, you can make a print of it. It can be reproduced for non-commercial use, provided that the original author is credited. That's all they expect, that you can reproduce this book. You can get it printed here and distribute it to your students, to your faculty members. That is perfectly fine with them. So that way these are available. Now, some of the examples which are in India, they are NROER website. This is the NCERT MHRD project. It has a very good repository of various content. You can see it has digital books and e-courses, completely full e-library is there with a lot of resources into it. All kind of resources you can find. You have documents, you have interactivities, you have audios, you have images, you have videos. And the good thing about is that the various kind of languages it offers. Say for example, you say that you want to search something. So you see here, you have Assamese, English, Gujarati, Hindi, Malayalam, Manipuri, Marathi, Mizo, Telugu, Tamil. So many the resources they are available. They have tried to put almost in all the Indian language. Actually, it is the contribution by people like us. So those who have created, and these are all you can use them. These are the images which you can use for your purpose. You want to have a photograph of Mahatma Gandhi, you can download it. You have to about Earth, and this is there, and that way there are various images. Say like on what have been found here. This is arterial system, human body, something like that. Then we have another, say, like Karnataka Open Educational Resources. So here you can see the subject areas: English, Hindi, mathematics, science, social science, and these are the resources. So you can find the topics and you can make use of them from there. Similarly, there are other resources which you can find on open educational resources from there. And then there are certain open access theses and dissertations. This is open access theses and dissertations, which you can use from there. You can make a key search and say, for example, if you want to search something for blockchain, it will show you the work which has been done. Similarly, on the pattern, we have our own National Digital Library of India, from which you need to create your login into it, and then it will show you that what level for what thing, what you want to search. You can search for journals, you can search for data sets, you can search for engineering subjects, humanities, literature, law, management, school level, university level, CBSE kind, anything on which subject, what is available. Say, for example, you can search here for management, video lecture, question bank, book notes, etc. And this is by CEC, the Consortium for Educational Communication. Here it shows you if you want to use, say, something on brand management, and this is here. These have been used, created by themselves. So they are those activities which are available to you. Similarly, we have InflibNet database which can be used. So this is here you can search, and in their library, in their publications, you can go and access their reference services, their document services. From there, you can make use of the resources from there. Okay, so this one is there. Now let me very quickly show you certain examples that how these are being used around us. Let me need to change my screen. Okay, these are the various examples around. I won't take more time in explaining them, but simply, this movement has become so popular that every year Open Education Week is organized by Open Education Consortium. The March or April is the time around in which you can participate, and you can see that previously what has happened, what other people they have shared their resources, and what you can contribute to them and use them and understand them, that how it can be used. This is an example from Afghanistan. Darkt-e-Danish means knowledge tree, as a free open educational resource for the Afghanistan repository. This is from Armenia. This is from Bahrain, the Ministry of Education. This is the Muktopath, the platform by Bangladesh. This is from Cambodia. This is from China, Rutgers. This is their China Open Resource Education. Again, their CERN, Research and Education Network. This is Beijing Normal University, which is a smart learning institute. And then their Belt Road. This is Cyberport Hong Kong Management. The National Taiwan Open University from Cyprus, from Georgia. University of Georgia is the OpenStax platform, which I showed to you already. And you can see that there are textbooks available, like textbook on biology is there, physiology is there, history is there, psychology is there, like that. This is TESS India project, which was for a joint initiative of UK Open University, which is the world's first open university, and MHRD for enhancing the competence of teachers in the eastern states of India, particularly Bihar, Jharkhand, like that there. This is Telangana Open Educational Resources created by there. This is Karnataka Open Educational Resources, which I just showed to you. This is NROER, National Repository on Open Educational Resources. This is an interesting example by Pratham Books. You know, although Pratham Books is a publishing house which publishes books for sale, but they also produce Creative Commons books for children as the story books, in both formats, online as well as print-based. And they have the Creative Commons there. This is NIOS, on which they created these 3 courses using this platform. One on ICT in education, another is rural technology, third is tourism and hospitality management there. This is an NGO, IT for Change, which also releases its publications as open materials. Then example from Indonesia. This is their network. This is their portal, IOER, Indonesia Open Educational Resource. This is another, their digital platform. One more platform from there. This is from Iran, Farabi Institute, their open courseware. This is Baha'i Institute for Higher Education in Iran. This is Shahid Beheshti University. Again, they have around many 150 programs which are offered as OCW like that. Then this is Open University of Israel. They have provided free access to their core textbooks in electronic formats, basically in Hebrew, but many of them are in Arabic and English as well as in Russian. Then this is their Inter-University Center for E-Learning of Israel, Meitel. Then from Japan, their open courseware. Then Center Hokkaidо University. This is the Jordan E-Learning Center. Then their open source association. In India also we have one open access association. There we call it as the Open Access Association. Here it is like that. This is there for medical sciences fields, the OpenMed platform. Then from Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Lebanon, we are Lebanon. Then this is OUM Malaysia, which is a distance education university of Malaysia. This was the university where I was working, the OER Asia platform, on which there are many resources available on Wawasan Open University platform. You can go there. This is one of the top rated university in the global ranking, USM, University Sans Malaysia. And they have also created content with under the title of delivering education for all and learning for all. So they have their OER at USM platform, on which you can find here, you can see about education, arts, humanities, science. There are various categories on the website. You can find more about it. Then an example from Mongolia, there, Nepal, our neighborhood, ePustkalaya is their platform. Then from Korea, they have done good work. This is the Korea Open Courseware. Then from Seoul, National Open University. This is example from Oman, from Muscat. Then Pakistan, Virtual University of Pakistan is a very good initiative. It is completely fully virtual university, which has a good number of courses of high quality. Then it is Palestine, their portal. From Philippines, this is the Open University of Philippines, which have their OER created for various subjects. The example from Qatar, then OER Commons, Qatar Foundation International. From Russia, National Technical, then Saudi Arabia, their network. From Singapore, Management University, then their OER platform. From Sri Lanka, the Open University of Sri Lanka, they offer it. Then from Syria, free courses they have created for English. From Taiwan, Tajikistan, Open Society, Thailand, cybersecurity. If you want to study for cybersecurity, you can download their course material. Then from Turkey, this is their learning portal. UAE, Uzbekistan, then Vietnam. In Vietnam, there are few universities, like they have created their portal. And I think this is the last one there. So maybe now I can take some questions. I'm stopping my screen share. And if there are any questions, you can type them. Let me see in the chat.
Hello.
Yes, please.
Sir, my co-host, Dr. Shailendra Singh Chauhan from DBC, he will be taking this question answer session. So before I hand over the session to him, and I would like to convey my thanks that this 2 sessions has been quite wonderful, very, very enlightening, and I mean, it's too much of information to absorb, but yes, I think it was great. Thank you. Thank you for being with us. Now I'm handing over to Dr. Chauhan.
Thank you, Dr. Indrajit. Thank you, Dr. Ravi Sharma, for hearing you. It is always a privilege to hear you again and again. There are some questions raised. Of Dr. Grishma regarding Science Hub. Science Hub, the website, that provides free access to millions of research papers. So the question from Grishma is it usable? Am I audible, sir? So this question from Dr. Grishma from Deshbandhu College.
Oh, you want me to answer these questions?
Yes.
I thought that means you are replying. Okay.
No.
Let me open the chat box then. Okay, Saurabh ji is asking what is the difference between Moodle and MOOC course. Okay, please see. Moodle is a learning management system which is a platform. But MOOC is massive open online course. So MOOC is a course which has a start date and end date. To launch a course, you need certain platform. So there is a big difference between both of them. One is the platform on which the content will lie. The combination of content is a course. Anant Raji is saying, do UGC allow faculties to upload their content like lecture videos on such platforms? Yes, it allows. In fact, the UGC has already requested everyone during this pandemic time that please create e-content. And then you can, through your university, you can either contact those 9 national coordinators. Professor R.C. Kuhad in his initial speech told you about the SWAM platform, and then there are 9 national coordinators. Depending on whether you have PG, UG, technical, non-technical certificate, what kind of course you can allow. Otherwise, you are free to use Moodle or Google Classroom or Canvas, or there are n number of platforms. You can upload them, including YouTube. You can upload your content onto it and share the link with your students. Dr. Aarti Yadav is asking, can we embed link of videos not with Creative Commons licenses in our course? You can, with giving the URL is never a problem when even if it is not a known Creative Commons license that way. But it is always better that even if you are using certain product which you want to embed, or it is always better to cite it. But otherwise, it is allowed, means that will not be creating a problem. The problem is created when we download it and use it without any citation or acknowledgement to that. Madhurani is asking statistically how India is performing in the creation of OERs. Statistically, we are doing well. Not very well, but we are doing well. Some of our institutions, they have done good number of work. I can I can tell them that like NCERT has done that. National Institute of Open Schooling is doing that. Then there are various colleges of under Delhi University. They have been there. Then there are various universities. So that way we have, and please remember the NPTEL platform, which allows you to access those, the videos which have been created there. Okay.
So I have one question.
Please, yes. Go ahead.
So what policy changes are needed for institution in India, especially, make more effective use of OER?
The simple kind of policy change is regarded to have an a kind of consensus on sharing of the materials. At present, say for example, means I have been saying it even when I was in IGNOU, and now I can say it more freely because I am not in IGNOU, which is the national university, and the some of the means in the previously the content. They did not declare it as the OER materials for that, and there was the policy decision taken by the administration for them. So the what is the need is that how we can share our material. Means how did MIT do it, and how did the University of California Irvine did that, and there are many other universities which have created. I showed you so many examples of OCW, open courseware. So that way we need to have adopt the policy of sharing and then make it.
Do you think the blending learning is it a suitable approach to education that combine online educational materials and traditional classroom methods?
Yes. In fact, blended learning approach is very good for those cases in which the infrastructure and the resources is a challenge. So we have three stages: face-to-face situations and fully online system. To reach the fully online system, it may take some time, it may take certain challenges, but going blended is a good approach initially, where we can have something supporting the face-to-face system with the help of technology, and that will make it a comfortable journey to transition to the online system. So that's a right approach.
Thank you, sir.
Kindly share some OER journals approved in CARE list in the discipline of education. Dr. Aarti Yadav, it is very easy to see. You can go to doaj.org website, and the journals there, they are into the, actually in terms of OER journals, my journal pertains to OER journal, the Asian Journal of Distance Education. But to see it into the CARE list, either just go to the list of Scopus, because most of the journals which are Scopus indexed, they are in the CARE list. Otherwise, that needs to be searched there. But however, particularly on OER, there are very few journals, because this is only a very recent nascent area in which the people have started doing work. Okay. SM Jha is asking, can we have a list of all the sites you mentioned in the printed form from you? Maybe the, actually, because I know them, I remember them, so I showed it to you. Maybe you can, see the recording, and then you can download it from there. Please briefly explain about share alike CC license. Share alike means that if I am using something which is already existing with a share alike license, and I want from product A, I am making product B. So this is now the new product which has been created out of this one. You can use it, but the license again will remain the same as share alike. It is something like we cannot change the license. Means we cannot stop the people by making, say for example, if it is a public domain material, you can use that material, and from there you can create your own copyright protected material or something like that. You can change the license, but in share alike, you cannot change the license. It allows you to make commercial use, it allows you to revise it, but license will remain the same. In other cases, you can change the license. Let me show you an example of that, how to do it. It is a interesting site. It is called as CC. Maybe it will open. Okay, no. This is for music. Okay, let me go back. So see this one, it will be good for you, particularly for all of you who want to create online courses or who want to do some research work into it, and how you can mix different kind of licensing into it. This is the this on this side it is your input, on this side your will be output. You need to mix them and see that whether it can be blended or not. Say, suppose you use CC0 license and another is CC BY NC. Will it blend? Okay, see, yes. And this is the new license which you can give. You took one material of this license, one material of this license. After that, whatever the product, whatever the content you can create, you can give these three kind of license to them. But now see the example, if you use CC BY SA there and again CC BY ND, use that, what kind of license you can give? You cannot. The reason is ND says that no derivative, means no revision. You cannot change it. So you cannot mix it with others. So that has to be mixed with itself only there. And similarly, if you can use CCBY and CCBY NC ND, you can see whether it can. No. Because wherever ND will come, it cannot be changed. You cannot modify that. But instead of that, you can mix these one. CCBY and CCBY NC, say that can be done and there. So that will remain. Similarly, if you use CCBY SA with another resource which is CCBY, the license cannot be changed into it. So the purpose of that is to keep, and that's why the Wikimedia entries, they go by with the same license, that the license will remain same. So that otherwise what the people will do, they will use the free material, and after that they will make it no derivative, no commercial use or other things. To stop them, if someone is using material free of cost, they should give others also to use it with the same easiness, same access from there. That is the purpose of CC BY. Okay. Now CC BY SA. Is it plagiarism check? Is there a way to check if we have completely usable open materials or not? Okay, this is a good question, but this is not a plagiarism check. For plagiarism check, you need to use those special like Authenticate or Urkund or Turnitin like that. But since if you are using this open access material, definitely it may result into plagiarism check, because if you are using it as such same. But then these softwares, they use machine intelligence. After that, whatever the report it will generate, a human editor takes the decision that from where that content has come. And in that case, if it is there, then you need to understand it, that whether it was from open source or something like that. Okay, Canvas by infrastructure. Dr. Aarti, it is instructor, not infrastructure. The Canvas is the platform. It is good. I have already created some courses on Canvas, and I can just briefly, that is instructor. And if you can see it here, I have created some MOOCs which will be very soon I'm going to launch. This is on e-learning, this is health and wellness path and podcast in education, etc. So there are certain courses. Definitely it is a good platform to host your courses. Okay. Please suggest few platforms for hosting e-courses which are free. Moodle seems to be free. Okay, Rubina ji, perhaps whoever is taking Moodle tomorrow, Moodle, this, it is partially right. Like वो युधिष्ठिर ने झूठ बोला था, वो सच बोला था, mix था वो. This sentence is partially correct, partially incorrect. There is only one version of Moodle, that is the free trial period, which is for 45 days. But otherwise, if you can download the Moodle and install it on your servers, it is free for life. You won't change anything. The other alternative is that you can create your ID on Genomio, which is another, again, a Moodle platform. It is free, no time limit. And in fact, it has, it gives you more space of around 10 GB space, around 100,000 active users with many courses on that. You can download that into it. Okay, so let us see all the participants. अनेक पत्रिकाएं ऐसी होती हैं जो कोई फोटोग्राफ प्रयोग कर लेने पर गूगल या नेट से आभार लिख देते हैं. क्या यह तरीका सही है? ना, that is not a right way to do that. And if they are doing it, actually they in that case they may be taking care of a use of a facility in the law which is called as fair use policy. Fair use policy. So what is this fair use policy? It says that for your educational purpose or something, you can have some portion of that content for your use, which is otherwise copyrighted. But now what should be the extent of that is debatable. Suppose, you know, Surendra Sharma, चार लाइनें सुना रिया हूँ, that the Kavi. If there is a poem of only 4 lines, and means, or if there is a big paragraph, you take 4 lines from there, so the quantification may be difficult into that. But then definitely the fair dealing is there, and under that can be taken, or sometimes they will just mention it that they have taken it from Google. It is always better that instead of mentioning it taken from Google, you need to tell it, because Google is a just platform where the things they are mounting. The actual housing is somewhere else. It may be a newspaper, it may be a books, it may be a personal website, a blog of something there, that has to be mentioned, not just simply Google or Net says about. That is a wrong approach. Saurabh is asking if any text or image is not open access, but we have received permission from the author. Yes, definitely. Basically, it is idea of the permission. If you have the permission, even if it is not open access, means if it is copyright, definitely you can use it. Actually, that is the right way to seek the permission. The Creative Commons or the open access, they just shortens your one activity to seek permission. The permission is already granted into that. Okay, text, not test. Okay, Ajay Pal is saying, if slides are prepared from a textbook with addition of your own thoughts, is it necessary to cite the name of the author? Okay, good question. If you are preparing slides from a textbook, but if you are using your own thoughts, what you are writing on the slide is the main thing. Means if you are using the text from the textbook, then definitely you need to cite. But if you are reading a textbook, you get an idea from there and you are making your slide, then it is not necessary, because it is the idea. You have taken it from there. You are not using the material as such from there. Okay, Bharti is saying, or all the content in MIT Blossoms and TeacherTube completely free for download and using elsewhere? Do we need? Check the status like in YouTube. In YouTube, you need to check whether it is Creative Commons tube or standard YouTube. If it is standard, then you. But MIT Blossoms is open source. I showed it to you. It is completely free. Similarly, TeacherTube, it's free to use that. Okay, any other question? I think I have replied to all the questions.
So one question from this side, Dr. Shivan.
Hey.
So how do we test the qualities of open education resources?
Please say it again. How can we?
How do we judge the quality of open education resources?
Okay, there are certain parameters. We need to see that what is the accuracy, what is the relevance, what is the coherence of it, what is the comprehensive of NAV, and then or otherwise it is the simple thing that means when we created OER, then there certainly the question came that who decides the quality. So our stand on that is that user decides the quality. If the user thinks that if as a teacher, if a teacher decides that, okay, the teacher has found certain essay, some content which can be of any nature, some format, if they have found that and they think that it suits their purpose, that is good quality. Hence, that is fine, perfectly fine. There is no standard authority or regulatory body to decide that if this is okay, then it is good. But otherwise, those 10 parameters which I showed in my presentation, that is the guidelines. On the basis of that, you can make a rubric scale, and whatever the content fits into and that rubric scale, that we can see that is the good quality. And that's why if you see that there are certain websites, if you remember the open textbook of Hong Kong, there are stars into it. Like on Amazon.com, you see a product, you give rating to that. And the higher the rating to a product, the better it is considered. Similarly for mobile apps, you give the rating and the better rating or better most downloads is probably considered as that it may be a good one. So that is a parameter to check it. But otherwise, it's the teacher who uses, if they think that it is good, simple. Sachin is saying if author is providing the, just a minute, Sachin का question थोड़ा सा ऊपर चला गया. क्या है ये? If author is providing the PPT along with the textbook, can we use without taking permission from the author? Whatever comes with the textbook, including the CD, there are certain like computer science books. Normally they give you the software along with that. That is to be used with the person who have used that, but not for distribution purpose. So the answer is in a way, yes, but it depends. You cannot distribute it. For your own use, you can use that. Just a minute, there is this question. Okay, Yasheshwarji is asking, I create my education video and upload it on YouTube, okay. How could I promote on which the open source in order to disseminate it more effectively? Okay, when you upload it, do few things. When you upload let me just simply show it to you by an example here. If it is, this is the YouTube channel, and here is your upload YouTube video. It will ask you to upload something. Let it come, then I can show it to you. Now it is asking me to upload a video. So let me find some video which I can upload. I don't know if I will have a short video with me. Okay, Facebook. So okay, let me see if this is the video. It comes. By your user. Okay, I have to, I was trying to drag and drop, but select file, open, Okay, see, after you do it, then here are the things which will make you it more, easily accessible to the people. What you need to do is give a maximum description possible up to 5,000 characters. The more you type here, the more visibility it will increase. Then create a here. Then it will ask you whether it is made for kids or not made for kids. You need to be checking that. Then go to more options. In more options, these are the tags. This is that field, the tags, which Google or any other search engine will search these words. So try to put all the words here, like if I have uploaded this video, so I can type here web. So this is one tag, education, another tag, and like that. So you add the think of those terms which people put in Google to search anything from there. So that you do, and then here is the license. By default, if you don't do it, it will keep a standard YouTube license. You need to select Creative Commons license. In that case, its visibility will be increased. And finally, when you go, the third one is the visibility. There, it will ask you that whether it is made for kids or not, like that. And then keep it, means if you keep it public, then definitely anyone can search it from there. So these are some of the things which allows you to make your work to be visible to many people easily. Okay, Dr. Rakesh Kumar is asking, what will happen if I copy from your slides and share those slides to students with my name? That is called as plagiarism. And unless if I have not allowed, although on my site I have allowed, let me show you my website slide share. Here, see this is CC BY. This is my page. You can go click on here, and most of the presentations you will find they have this CC license. But so if it is there, then you are free. But if it is not there, and the person they can take action accordingly, then means it can be a trouble. It happened with one of my trainee. I gave the training to create them on videos. She created a video of her presentation and she downloaded the music from SoundCloud, which was open source music. But when she uploaded on YouTube, she received a message from YouTube of copyright claim and she was afraid. Then when she attacked me, I told her that you forgot to mention it. It is better in that case, in the description portion of the video, you need to mention that from which site you have taken that music. Otherwise, the software will think that you just downloaded it from a copyright source. And the companies nowadays, they are very strict because ultimately the government, catches them that you are the content holder, you are the platform. I will go to the user later on, but first I'm taking you to the police thana first, that way. Dr. Namrata is asking if a picture is available under Creative Commons, which allows its sharing without modification, and we can crop it and use a portion which will be considered. Yes, it will be considered as modified. Because whatever the frame or the thing, if you are cropping it, it means you are excluding something. It will be considered as modified. Partha Goswami, do OER and MOOC support engaged pedagogy? Yes, they support. And remember, there is a difference between OER and MOOC. Any OER can be used as a MOOC, but not necessarily all the MOOCs are OER, not necessarily. OER means with the open kind of license which you can use. But there are certain MOOCs which is open in terms of wo darwaja khula hai ya band hai. In that sense, it is open. Open means open access here. They will say that I'm giving you the open access, but you cannot download my MOOC and offer it as your MOOC. But in OER, I am allowing you. ये जो आप screen पे मेरा PPT देख रहे हैं, बहुत सारे लोग हैं, आपको मिलेंगे OER के ऊपर और दूसरी चीजों के ऊपर. They have used my presentation and they have acknowledged it in their LinkedIn and other places also that I use this, Dr. Sharma, and that is the whole purpose. If you have to give presentation on Jamboard, use this presentation. Why do you create another presentation? It is already built for you. So you can use it, but not necessarily. So the reverse may not be possible. Sachin is asking if we are preparing the video and that video we are using the PPT provided by the author along with it. In the PPT author is properly cited. In that case, the permission is required or not? No, in that case, the permission is required. Why? The reason is, if you are making that video, definitely you are making that video to be distributed, to be shown by others. And it means that that is the dissemination. In that case, the permission is needed. Because you are using it using another platform. Okay, let me see if there are any other questions. Okay, generally, what will happen? Okay, I think I replied to this question. Astha is asking if the original source of the photograph is removed, will embedding work or it is better to download and use? Let me read this question again. If the original source of the photograph is removed, what is the original source of the photograph? It is better to download and use. I'm sorry, Asthaji, I could not understand this question. What you are trying to ask.
So I think what she's wanting. So I think what she's wanting to ask is that if supposing the original source, that is where the person who posted that photograph originally, if supposing that person was to remove the photograph and we have created an embedded link. So once that photograph is removed from the net, will that embedded link work or not?
No, it won't work. It won't work because the original thing has gone. So that is the in fact, that is a limitation of embedding, and that is the power of embedding also. The another advantage, see the positive side of embedding. Like in Google Drive, you will be doing it tomorrow. You have one document and you have 1,000 students. So you put it in your Google Drive and give it to 1,000 students through embedding. You have your own thing at one source. Tomorrow you want to update. If you had distributed your material to 1,000 students, and if you updated it, you need to again pass on that material to 1,000 students again. But in embedding, you change at one source and it is automatically the latest version is available to everyone. But then the downside is that you remove that from the original source, it goes from everywhere. That is the challenge. So it is better to download and then use. Yes, in that sense, that is correct. But then you need to see that what you can download. If it is OER, then you can download. If it is copyright protected, you cannot download. Okay. Do we have to mention that content obtained is from OER in our e-content? You just follow the TASL formula. Title, author, link, and source. That will do. Whenever you use it, you just use that. Is there any permissible limit of copyright? Yeah, it depends on what the copyright owner or the holder permits to you. They can permit you to use it to the full extent or to a certain extent. It depends on them, but definitely there is a limit. Okay, so any other question? Maybe you can mute or you can type it into here. Okay, if we are quoting standard definition and mechanisms for our student while preparing, no, the standard definitions, but if you are using any standard definition, then definitely you are quoting the author also, whose definition is that. Like if you are saying gravitation, and if you are using Newton's law, definitely we say Newton's first law, second law, or third law. then that is not a problem, because we are not quoting a standard definition with our name in that way. So that is acceptable practice. Oh, thank you, Yogesh. Yes, Yeshwarji, thank you very much. Okay, Rubina ji is asking, if an image is copyright protected and is not downloadable, okay, but I take a screenshot and attribute the source, yes, it will be infringing. Because here, you see, there are two things now here. First, it is copyright protected, and the copyright protection, either we need to see what is defined under that copyright protection. Say at in the title, in the credit page of a book, you see such a big paragraph, the publisher, they mention it. You cannot copy, you cannot store, even storing is prohibited, or transmit by any mechanical, mechanical, electronic, this medium, etc., etc. And secondly, if the person has disabled download, it means the person doesn't want anyone to download it. So then in that case, taking a screenshot is infringing it. That way, it is simple. And that's another thing, that if you as a teacher, means I got a question from one person that, sir, I want to upload my material, but I don't want my students to download that. How can I do that? It is easy. Even the PDF, you can make a PDF which right click is disabled. And even the Google Drive also, you have that facility. Maybe when you have a session on Google Tools, the teacher will tell you that when you put a file in your Google Drive and when you share it with your students, you can disable download. It cannot. But the challenge is here. If anything which can be seen on the screen can be captured, if it can be displayed on the monitor, मैं अपना phone लेके इसको ऐसे record कर लूँगा. It is simple. I can take any through camera, through screenshot, through screen capture, screen casting something, print screen key on my keyboard. We can. So anything, if that is the purpose, then better don't upload it. That's the only solution. Nadeem, if we make a video explaining others' content on screen, like a book chapter, it depends on what you are explaining there. Means that way, and how much content you are sharing it. If you are using it by means in the name of explaining it, something like that there, then definitely it may create a book, because ultimately you are using it. Yeah, Parthaji, that is a very good book by Rory McGrill. Rory McGrill is a friend. He is from Athabasca University, the example of which I showed it to you. This is a good book. This is a free book. This is an OER book, which you can download it from there.
Thank you, sir.
Usha ji is asking a question. On the other hand, for an image with copyright, what if one make a similar picture using other software, say PPT or Photoshop? Yeah, that will be again termed, if you are creating a similar thing. It is something like I gave you the example of Colgate and Colfate, changing one word into something or creating. So it is considered, means technically, legally, you can say that this is different, but morally, ethically, not a good idea to do that. Can I ask my doubts to queries to you through written email? Yes, Saurabh ji, sure, you are welcome. Why was Linux such an excellent program made free? Just a wait, a question has gone little up. Who is asking this question? Ashutosh ji. Why was Linux such an excellent program made free? Ashutosh ji, that's why, that is the beauty of that. Linux was made free, because if it was a proprietary software, you and me would not have contributed to that and made it strong. कल आप Moodle करेंगे. Moodle is number one ओपन सोर्स सॉफ्टवेयर। वो क्यों? क्योंकि मार्टिन डुगिया मास जो इसके क्रिएटर हैं, मेरे दोस्त हैं, हम दोनों ब्राजील में और कई जगह पर इकट्ठे कीनोट स्पीक भी दिए हैं। जब कम्युनिटी किसी चीज में कंट्रीब्यूट कर रही है इंस्टेड ऑफ कंपनी, then definitely the community involvement makes the things better. That's why it was made free. And particularly we were bored with the Windows operating system and those other kind of proprietary systems. The people wanted some free software. So Unix and Linux, they were created with that. कई बार थिएटर में रिलीज मूवी को लोग अपने कैमरों से नेट पर डाल देते हैं। अमित जी, आप भी इस क्वेश्चन का आंसर जानते हो। That is a wrong thing. आजकल लोग कैमरा लेके जाना ही नहीं देते, मोबाइल भी रखवा रहे हैं आजकल, और लोगों ने वो सेंसर्स भी लगाना शुरू कर दिया है। इवन इफ कोई ऐसा अपना मोबाइल लेके बैठा होगा ना, तो वो सेंसर्स ढूंढ लेता है कैमरे को, क्योंकि इसके अंदर जो चिप है वो पकड़ में आ जाएगी। तो वो कहते हैं, बट अदरवाइज रॉन्ग थिंग। जी बोलिए।
We are running out of time now. It's a wonderful session. I give a formal vote of thanks. I begin with my sincere thanks to Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya, National Mission on Teachers and Teaching, Central University of Haryana, and IQAC Deshbandhu College, University of Delhi. I would also like to express my gratitude to our speaker of the day, Professor Ramesh Sharma, for accepting our invitation in spite of his preoccupation. Sir, your presence and valuable suggestions given to the faculty members on online library resources, open education resources, use of free content and material under Creative Commons license, copyright production will lead them for success in every walk of life. Thank you very much, sir. I would also like to thank all the participants of Deshbandhu College and Central University of Haryana. I end the vote of thanks with a quote of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam: "Great books ignite imagination, imagination leads to creativity, creativity blossoms thinking, thinking provides knowledge, knowledge makes great." Thank you so much, one and all. Over to Dr. Jyoti ma'am.
Okay, thank you very much.
Over to Dr. Jyoti ma'am.
Thank you, sir. It was just awesome. There was so much information which we learned in 2 sessions. Personally, I feel I wouldn't have learned in 2 months. And it's, even if I can remember those terms, I will go along. It was really good. Sir, would you like to assign questions?
Can you please repeat?
Sir, would you like to assign some questions to the participants? I have made a few questions on assignments. Would you like to give them something for practice?
Okay. I can give them an assignment that this subject which you are teaching, please try to find minimum 2 things. One relevant image related to that, and some open source e-content from there, not more than 1 page. And try to paste it in a Word document of maybe 1 page, having your text and the image into it. Give the proper TASL for following it, the citation, and submit it to the to Aditya ji.
Sure, sir. I was typing it. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Dr. Pramod, would you like to say something?
Yes, ma'am. I would like to thanks Professor Ramesh Sharma for a wonderful and informative session. As Dr. Jyoti Trivedi madam told, it is really very informative for we people. We are working on this OER, but we don't know the such type of information is available related to OER on the internet. Thank you very much, sir, for very informative session. Thank you. Over to Dr. Jyoti.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you, sir. We will let the participants take a short break before they can come back to assignments. And if you could post your email here in case somebody wants to contact you. Post your email.
Okay, I will type it in the chat box.
Yes, sir.
And I hope you noted my WhatsApp number from my slide. This is my WhatsApp number.
Yes, sir.
You need to save it as such as it is there.
Okay. Okay.
And this is Malaysia number, not Indian.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So just +60 is the Malaysia code. You type it as there.
Once again, it was a privilege and pleasure to listen to you.
Okay, so thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Bye, everyone.
Okay, so I have made a Word document. I'm going to share my screen. We all can have a cup of tea, coffee, relax, whatever. And then we can do this assignment. And as shown in the guidelines, the assignment will be emailed by the end of the day to that email address. Right? If there are any doubts, you can post on the chat box. I'm just sharing my screen. Give me a moment. Okay, can you see my screen, please? Screen visible?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Please continue.
So actually very simple. First day, very easy. So let's warm up to the other sessions. So we all can do this now. If you all want, you can close the Zoom session. And I have posted the assignment on the group, on the WhatsApp group. If some group is missed out, I'm going to post it right now. And the link for the meeting, tomorrow's meeting, will be shared shared shortly, or definitely tonight. Okay. Let me know if you have any questions. I can see some questions on chat.